Okay guys, so the next stage is how we can apply some custom velocities for the smoke. Well, actually for fire, it doesn't matter for the smoke or something else. So we can create another geometry. And let's call it custom, or let's call it wind. Because let's create something like a wind maybe. So let's go to Gust as the object when I see my smoke for creating the area of influence. So the thing is, we need to set where I want to put my velocities. Okay, so let's create, I don't know, like a cube. You can add any, primitive, like a sphere, something like that. I can put it above the smoke just to have. I'll make it big over here. So it's like an area of influence. So if you want to have an influence like an all set up, you can just, let's create the big box. I just want to show you how we can add a limitation for velocities. So this is our box, and we can apply simply, well, again, we can play with the scatter, with the isosurface, how we did with the sources. But this thing, when I put velocities, in fact, if my particles will be like a grid position, it doesn't matter. So I can use the pyro source, go to the pyro, and I choose the volume scatter. So I create a bunch of points inside of this grid. So we can reduce the particle separation. In fact, we don't need too much particles. But anyway, if you want to apply noise later on, the more particles should be better. So now I can add an attribute, and this attribute should be velocity. And default value, let me increase it by, I don't know, like a 3 on X and 0 on other position. And now you can see the line. I can definitely see, yeah, you can see like how it's rising up. You can see it's up. It's not rising up, but it began to rise. And we have a direction on our left side somewhere here. Okay, so now we have these velocities, and let's the volume raster attribute. Note, let's connect it here, and I will add the V attributes over here. So I convert my velocities. Velocity by default, velocity here. Okay, you can say like a group particles, it doesn't matter in our case, you can normalize, but I use just a velocity from that. Okay, and now go to null object, and we can say that this is going to be my wind out. Just for a test, we can call it wind. Okay, back to the smoke sim, and I want to add another volume source. Let's call this volume source maybe like wind source. Or just a wind. You can avoid the source naming, but it doesn't have too much sense. Now let's connect this to my wind and my wind out. So I should have just a velocity, so you can press plus, choose vector, source V, get into val. So we transfer our velocity into velocity, volume velocity. Right, don't forget about this difference. We have a V inside of your point velocity, and we have the val name of the velocity field inside of our Pyro simulation. All right, so now let's just hide this stuff. I don't want to see it, in fact. And now let's play. Now the smoke is rising up, and on some stage it should just blow out on this area. Oh, on this area. Where's my X? Yeah, here go my X. Oh, it's too much. Yeah, we can definitely lower velocity amount on our Vin settings here, but we can play with the scale here. So we can like multiply it by 0.25, which means just 4 times weaker. And now it's still big. Still too big, maybe. But anyway, we can see that it works. So it's not an opportunity to add this velocity, particularly in this case, in this situation, in this scene, but I just want to show you how you can create this velocity to to add custom velocity field. And we can sometimes use mask or use, I can add a noise over here if you want to, because sometimes, if we have a wind, we want to have some noisy stuff, right? But because winds have some turbulence. So what we can do, again, we can go to the attribute warp. It means some changes. So get add velocity noise. So we can take our velocity, exit velocity. Let me just increase this and grab velocity over here and add maybe curl velocity. So curl noise, take a position and add this noise into the add. So we add velocity to existed velocity. So we still have direction which we put here on the pyro source. And we can increase, forget to get all those parameters and go to input. And now I can go here and let's play with the amplitude. So maybe even add a little bit more amplitude. So now you need to keep in mind that I reduce my velocity on the source area, sorry, not the source, in simulation area. We need to understand that our noise will be reduced too. All right, so, but it's going to be good. I think that, yeah, the scale, I guess it should be fine. It's a little bit hard to see the scale of my noise because it's, like randomly, but if you look from this side, you can see those waves. I guess they should be good. So now let's back again here to my smoke sim, turn off velocity visualization. Now we can see with the wind, we should have some noise, some turbulence. It should be fine, so it's not just a linear noise for now. And definitely, again, I don't want to have such a huge influence here, but I just want to show you that it works and how it works. And if you have a large movement and a high speed or high advection, it sometimes can cause the clamping, but for now you can see that it's fine. It's closer to my size here, but it's fine. All right, so that's we can apply our additional velocities. It doesn't matter what it is, could be the wind or different kind of influence on your simulation. But what if I want to create like a path for the smokes, not just a direction, create a path. Let's find out how we can do that.